I'm going to show you the most embarrassing picture that I have right here. Let me go ahead and pull this up. It is a picture of when I was in St. Kitts. And what is so embarrassing about it is because I'm a fat ass, right? I am freaking huge. I'm probably 250 pounds right there. At least 250 pounds. I was on a cruise with my family. We were living in Puerto Rico. As I said before, we teach people how to live wherever you want to live in the world. And I was living in Puerto Rico, doing my thing, trading, and just having a great time. But I didn't have a scale in my bathroom. And that's not why I got fat. I got fat because I was complacent. Right? Over the years, living my lifestyle from South Louisiana in food and drink, and I'm not going to put smoking in that category because it doesn't belong there, but definitely, you know, whatever I wanted to eat, whatever I wanted to drink, that's just what I did. And then I started to think about the men that I respect. And what do they all have in common? Do I respect anybody who's morbidly obese? No. It's not because they aren't nice people. It's not because I don't have some basic level of respect for all humans. I do. But if somebody's morbidly obese, as soon as they walk in the room and I don't know that person from Adam, they're not going to get my immediate respect. I'm not going to see discipline. I'm not going to see courage. I'm not going to see any of those things. Any of the things that would make somebody respect another person just off of sight, right? Am I the person that my wife married? Am I still my wife's dream guy? No, not even close. Am I the guy that my kids are going to respect? Not even close, you know? More importantly, do I want my children looking up to somebody else as a masculine figure that isn't me? Absolutely not, you know? So therefore, I made a decision. I made a decision to stop living just for myself, trying to put myself into an early grave. I made the decision to suffer. I made the decision to sacrifice. I made the decision to become the man that my wife needs me to be. I made the decision to become the man that my children need me to be, right? And what did that take? Lots of exercise, going to the gym 6 days a week? No. It took not even all that much. It took a carnivore diet. I wholeheartedly embraced the carnivore diet. It doesn't mean that I don't eat any vegetables at all. So I guess you'd call me animal-based if you're being really picky and girly about it. But the fact of the matter is that when I picked up the carnivore diet and lived this carnivore lifestyle, I didn't do it as a fad diet to try to quickly drop a few pounds. I did this 4 months ago. In that 4 months, I have so far dropped over 35 pounds. And I say over 35 pounds because that's the last time I checked. I check about twice a week. And last time I checked, it was I was at 242, which I'm bigger than 242 in this picture. But I was at 242, and I had lost, and I was down at 207 last time I checked. And I'm losing weight all the time. And I'm not starving myself. You know, I'm just, have nutrition coming in heavier stacks of, steak and butter and whatnot. Now, I'm not asking for your opinion on the carnivore diet here. This video is about discipline, and it's about sacrificing yourself and what your wants are for the needs of your family. That's what this is about. It's not to ask you whether or not you think that my cholesterol is going to go up or any of the nonsense that doctors are going to tell you that don't know about this. Any of the lies coming from the medical community, they lie. Okay, everything that they say that's bad about this lifestyle, this animal-based / carnivore lifestyle, that's all bad about it. They're full of it. The American Heart Association is full of it. Okay. Cutting sugar out of your diet makes you healthy. That's all there is to it. You cut out the sugar, you cut out the glucose, and all kinds of things start healing. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not going to say I'm not a doctor, because I've educated myself beyond where they've educated themselves in this field. But I don't care to be in that conversation. I know what works for me, and I know what works for everybody else. And for me and everybody else who tries this, it's the carnivore diet. And there's lots of reasons about that. Anyway, bottom line is, I had to make a decision. Do I want to be the man that my wife wants me to be, or do I want to be this lard ass on that's just this ridiculously fat tub that still thinks he's hot shit walking down the beach in Barbados? You know, that to me is excruciating. And just looking back at that, because I still didn't think I was fat back then, right? It's like when you put the frog in the pot and you turn the fire up slowly, it doesn't know that the water's hot, you know. And when it took years to put this on, it doesn't come off. I mean, it comes off a lot faster than you can put it on. That's for certain. But when I look at, you know, pictures from when my wife and I first met, and I was 188 pounds, it's a stark contrast. Well, now I'm 207 pounds. I'm now back in a size 34 from a 38 or a 40, right there in this fat boy picture. And just to let y'all know, I've been there. Okay. It's easy for us as men to gain weight, to get complacent. It's difficult when you think about losing 50 pounds. You know, now, if I want to get back down to 190, 185, that isn't within reach. I mean, that's 17 pounds away now. And I'm losing several pounds a week, you know, and healthily. I don't have any inflammation. Nothing hurts. I don't have any, my stomach isn't bad. Like, there's nothing wrong. Everything just gets better and better. I just want to encourage you that you can do this. You know, if you happen to be a little bit overweight, you know, and that's not as fat as a lot of guys are, but how far do you actually want it to go? But the bottom line is, if you're overweight, you can start this. Okay, you just have to have your why strong enough as to why you want to start this, and why you want to get where you want to go, and have the discipline to see it through. You know, in business, nobody respects the man that's a lard ass that walks into the room. And what I mean by that is that when they see him, he is not going to be a model of discipline. And the only respect they can have for him is if they have authority, if the fat guy is an authority over them. When you go do a business deal and you're sitting across the table from somebody, they're looking at you, especially if they're fit or lean, they're looking at you like you make a bad decision every time you open your mouth and you want me to trust you, right? You can't stop drinking beer every night and you want me to trust you. You drink a bottle of wine a day and you want me to trust you. All these things, right? And or you have wine or you have bourbon every night, whatever the case is. You've got these vices, and you want me to trust you in business. You can get away with that if you're fit and if you're lean, or at least not fat. But if you're fat and you cuss like a sailor, so fat, you swear, and you drink every day, that's not a good combination, man. And now I'm back in size 34s wearing belts that I haven't worn in years. And it feels great. It really feels great. Did not happen overnight. But I mean, you see that picture right there. I'm not going to take my shirt off, but I don't know if you can tell. I usually wear a vest, but these are 34s, man. These are 34s, and they're loose on me. These 34s are loose on me right now. So at the end of the day, I'm making this video to encourage you to start the process. Believe me, 190 was my far out goal when I started, because that would be a 52-pound loss of body weight. Now it does not seem like it's a chore. Now it seems like it's something that's completely doable, and it seems like it's something that is very much within reach. Because 190, when I hit 190 pounds when I was younger, and I was no longer fitting comfortably into my size 32 Wranglers that I used to straddle on my Circle Y saddle. I kind of thought, I was like, man, what's going on? But the fact was that I just wasn't disciplined. I wasn't disciplining myself. But up until that point, I really didn't have to. It had never been a problem. But as you get older, things start to slow down a little bit. But it doesn't have to. It's just your diet changes and your mobility changes. So even just walking around a couple times a week and changing the way that you eat can drastically change your lifestyle. Now I'm doing push-ups, because the funny thing is I didn't ever lose strength, but now I can do push-ups. I can put my feet up vertical on a wall and do push-ups like that. I call them handstand push-ups. I don't know if they are or not. I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I can. And so, and now I can do 40, 50 push-ups in a row. I can do handstand push-ups. I can do push-ups on my fingers. I curl 40s and 50s. And these are all things that I've been able to do before, but it's better if you can do them while you're lean, right? But I couldn't do I'd be lying if I said I could do handstand push-ups when I was 250 pounds. That wasn't part of the deal. But at 207 pounds, I can definitely do it. I could do it 10 pounds ago. It was when I realized I could do it at 217, I guess. And I've lost 10 pounds since then, obviously. And now I've got 17 more to go. So anyway, this is getting a little long-winded. I just want to encourage you, okay? Just all of the excuses that you think you have, carnivore diet, keto is expensive, yada, 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 bullshit. You stop buying beer, you can buy steak. If you stop buying crackers and cookies and all the processed crap, and you just start buying steak, eggs, and sausage, that's what I eat. Hamburger patties, cheese, love all that stuff. And I don't feel ever, at this point, 4 months in, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Things have become more flavorful to me. Things that would have been bland before are now flavorful. And they make that fire cheese, Fayre, with the blueberries in it. I'm not depriving myself of that. I'm not trying to win any awards on Facebook for being the most carnivore guy in the world, like Jordan Peterson, who's who lives off of beef and salt and water. Not trying to be that. I don't have to be that. I don't have his condition. If I want something sweet, I'll eat a little bit of that fire cheese, and it's got carbs in it. But it's something that's very, very sweet. And at least it's really sweet to me now. Now it's like cake, and I eat just a little bit of it, but I don't crave anything anymore. I have to remind myself to eat. But it's perfectly healthy. My body lets me know exactly when I need to eat. I go to Sam's and get those cheddar jalapeno sausages. I don't know what's in them, okay? But I know they don't have any carbs in them. And I know that I can eat a couple of those, once a day, 3 of them once a day. And I am satiated, especially if I drink a bulletproof coffee in the morning. That really helps out, because my body uses fat for fuel now. It's called keto adaptation. And I talked to Dr. Jeff Wallach about this back in 2013 when I tried the keto diet the first time, 2013, 2014, because it was starting to get out of hand and I had to pull it back a little bit. And I learned all about keto adaptation. Your body starts to use fat as fuel. That's what takes the weight off. And we use meat as nutrition, and eggs as nutrition. Everything that is inside of an egg it's a multivitamin. Everything that you need to build your body. Everything. It's got fat, it's got protein, it's got all the vitamins. And same thing in meat. Okay? A steak has everything you need to build. Every piece of nutrition that it took to build that muscle on that cow is still there, and it's waiting for you to consume it. And you use the fat for fuel and the meat for food. And that's the basis of the carnivore diet. Your body can become keto adapted. And so I'm not losing muscle for sure, because I'm eating plenty of protein. I'm not losing muscle. And people say your body needs glucose. Well, your body does create its own glucose, as far as I understand, from the protein that you eat. And I don't dig into all that too far there. Dr. Sean Baker is somebody you should look up, because he's a big swole medical doctor that has embraced the carnivore diet. And he's got quite the following. So anyhow, this is just part of the journey that I've been on. I'm not where I want to be yet. I've still got 17 pounds yet to lose, but we are way back. We're way back on the downhill slide of this thing. So getting back now, if I get back into, I don't know that a grown man should be in size 32 Wranglers, but 34 cowboy cut Wranglers, no problem. And that's it's well within the scope. And when I say grown man, I mean a grown man my height. And I'm not exorbitantly tall. I'm 6 foot tall. And when I have my boots on, which are every day, it's taller than that because I wear a Western heel. But but when you see this, just understand I could not see where I am right now from this picture. I couldn't do it. I could not envision myself being at 207 pounds or what that would look or feel like. I could, but now 190 feels visible to me. It's visible and it feels that it's now within reach. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got something out of it. And look, man, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this, and if you need help and you want me to make more videos like this about this kind of motivation from real people. Okay, I'm not some fitness guru. All right, I'm just a real guy with a real family that just said enough is enough. And I decided that I need to man up and be there for my family. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm not fulfilling my obligation as a man. Am I willing to sacrifice for them? Am I willing to suffer for them? Am I willing to suffer to set that example for my kids, to be the kind of man that I want my daughters to look up to and respect, to be the kind of man that I want my son to respect? Do I want my son to respect another man that's not me in this regard and look down upon me, or maybe even be an embarrassment? You see? People laugh at kids laugh at people who have fat dads and fat moms, you know? I didn't want that to be for my kids. So I had to make a decision. Am I going to be my wife's fantasy again? You know, and the answer to that is just yes. You know, I had a decision to make, and it was an easy decision. Oh, it's easy to say it, but the decision means that it's the death of all other options. So now you have to stick to it, because now your man card is on the line. Okay. Anyhow, I'm gonna end it here. But if you want more of this, God bless you, and just let me know, and I'll make some more videos. Take care.